Well, hello from Brussels, where European Central Bank President Christine Lagarde has delivered a stark assessment of the continent's economic prospects, warning that the foundations of Europe's post-war growth model are weakening. Well, speaking in Geneva yesterday, Lagarde said three pillars had supported European prosperity: expanding global trade, access to relatively cheap energy, and technological innovation, and that all are coming under pressure as the international environment changes. And her warning comes at a time when Europe is facing stronger competition from the United States and China, while businesses are dealing with geopolitical uncertainty, higher strategic costs, and a changing global trading system. But perhaps the most significant part of Lagarde's message was concerns over artificial intelligence. She says Europe can't afford to repeat what happened during the previous digital revolution, when US companies established a dominant position whilst many European firms struggled to scale. Well, the ECB President argued that Europe's fragmented markets and financial systems are holding businesses back. Her message to European governments is that simply developing new tech will not be enough. Europe needs to create the conditions for companies to grow, attract investment, and compete internationally. And that makes the debate, of course, about economic reform much broader than just interest rates or inflation. For Brussels, the question increasingly is whether Europe can maintain its social model and economic influence while competing in a world where technology, energy, and geopolitical power are increasingly intertwined. Meanwhile, firefighters across Europe are continuing to battle major wildfires, with the European Union coordinating assistance between member states. Belgium had activated the EU civil protection mechanism as firefighters tackle the country's largest recorded wildfire near the German border. More than 3,000 hectares have burned there, while hundreds of residents have been evacuated. Sweden has supplied 2 firefighting aircraft, while helicopters from the Netherlands, Norway and Germany have also been deployed. In Spain, the situation is also severe. Around 16,000 hectares have burned in the Aragon region, where France has sent more than 100 firefighters and dozens of vehicles to support Spanish crews. And the scale of this crisis now is becoming clearer. EU data shows that more than 600,000 hectares have burned across the EU by the 18th of August. The fires are raising long-term economic questions. Recent analysis suggests that climate disasters are placing increasing pressure on public finances as governments face the cost of rebuilding infrastructure and responding to increasingly severe weather. So Europe's response then is becoming not simply a question of fighting individual fires, but of preparing for a changing climate and deciding how much governments should invest now to limit the costs of disasters in the future. This is Shone from Brussels for AnewZ.